Very good evening, everyone. My name is Daan Hut, and you will witness today the two Academy races. We're still underway in qualifying here in the last phase of it, as I hear in my earpiece. Currently, Mpgyoród is on pole. Sotiris, that we are following on board, is hunting him down, but as you see on the bottom right, you can see that he's not improving. Mpgyoród put down a 138.485, and Sotiris and Kontogouris are actually following quite close, 1/10 behind, 2.5 tenths behind. For the rest, they're quite a big gap from P11 onwards. But the Academy Series is a series where the drivers are growing and trying to improve, getting up the ladder, and this is a nice entry level, so we will probably see that these drivers will improve during the season. We're already halfway through, over half of it, I think, because GPV nowadays goes a bit longer through the summer than it did before. As we are riding along with Mpgyoród that had a cut wreck. And here we see Maciusz Sokolowski. Oh, and he spun out. Too bad. Joe Gillett that is improving on his time, taking the curb nicely. What can he do in this last bit of the track? Don't run wide there. Still improving on his time. 3/10 up on Mpgyoród. Heading towards the last corner. What can he do here? Can he improve to a top 5? Unfortunately not, so close. 1/10 behind Dexter. Dexter getting into the top 5. Oh, Nick Kuiper having a big moment there. Oh, and another big one. Overheating his rear tires. Yeah, this is a track where tire heating is a big part of it. And him spinning around. A ton of drivers spinning around actually. Yeah, tire heating is a big issue on this track because you have a lot of cornerings, quick corners, fast corners, slow corners. Rear tires not really liking it, as we have seen in FS2 and maybe FS1 as well. But even though the tire heating is a big issue, it can be also a really nice, good challenge for the drivers and also for the racing during the race, where we could see different strategies. But I think our qualifying session is now finished. And the session results should come up now. Alessandro Maggi on pole position with a 138.485. Said earlier in this session with only Terrace being 77 thousandths of a second behind. And Kasper Koritz on P3 with 2.5 tenths behind. Following them are Maciusz Sokolowski, Joshua Dexter, Joe Gillett, Kurt Godjarv, Philip Sherwinski, Nick Kuiper, and Tom Parker. And then on the second row, we have 2 10th places. That's new for me. I think Domenico Scarpelli is in P11. Or he's in P10. Sorry, I have a bit of a sore throat. Followed by Caroline Harvick, Howard J. something. Julian Kerr, David Dobson, Christian Vester, William Polisi, Yanis Lauti, Jake Johnson, and Frederick Lejean. And that was our order. As you guys can see already, during race 1 and 2 we will have a race of 14 laps. Same amount as the FS2, I think. It's already the 12th round of this Academy series. Time is going by really quickly. And let me just pull up all the info because I got here last minute. Let's see. Oh, I actually hear in my earpiece right now that FS2 was a bit longer, so it's actually a bit shorter. But still, it's yeah, from a ghost. But it's still going to be a really fun race. I personally like this track a lot because of all the quick corners, but also the chicane and like the heating challenge of the tires, as I already said before. After this, we actually have no rounds left to go, as my calendar says. That's a bit too bad. Maybe we will, I don't know. But the calendar says that this is actually the last round of the Academy series. As we see a couple of cars driving in the background. Yeah, the Hungarian also was here last weekend during the F1. Not a super exciting race, but I think this one will be more exciting than that one. As we can already see a pretty good fight on the background of the screen right now. As we're just waiting a couple of minutes for the warm-up. Yeah, the Hungarian small track, well, small, 4.3 kilometers, is located near Budapest. Budapest, the capital of Hungary. As I said, I like the track, Hungary. Those opinions are quite divided. Some people think it's not so nice because of the longer corners, the tire heating, the poor airflow by being behind someone. Luckily, these cars don't have as much drag as a Super Leagues car or a Super Lights car would have. And as we can see, like, it can be quite a cool track. A lot of big swirls, quick corners, right, left, as we drive along with Joshua Dexter. That takes quite a lot of curb over there. The corner where Felipe Massa actually ended up in the wall because a spring of the car ahead of him ended up in his helmet and knocking him out. I believe during FS2 this track was actually wet during one of the races. I don't know for sure. Yeah, and as I hear in my earpiece from our cameraman Sotiris, during race 1 we actually had a pretty cool race because of the weather conditions. It started wet and dried up from towards the end of race 1 throughout race 2. During race 1 the track dried up, so we had some mixed tire conditions, something we don't really see in these cars in Academy and FS2 because there are no tire regulations. We don't have 2 compounds. Oh, Dexter, that's not so nice. But apparently none of the leaders pitted for a dry compound. They stayed on wets, so they or had a big gap, or yeah, maybe the conditions were still not that dry that they, oh god, guys, that they had to swap around and change to the dry tires. But during race two we had a nice dry race, what we hope to see over here as well, because in Academy there's no rain at all. Because rain, yeah, it's quite difficult sometimes. Some tracks can be more difficult than others, of course. But these mixed conditions can really, yeah, for these starting drivers be really difficult and cause a lot of chaos. So we try to prevent that a bit, as we had a big pile-up a couple of years ago with the Academy Series. I remember that. It was at Australia, at the Melbourne track, and after 2 corners we had a massive pile-up. So since then, we have no wet race in Academy. On the one hand, it's unfortunate because like some people can really excel during those type of races. On the other hand, it's good because people can learn how to fight, good racecraft, all these different lines in the dry, try to overtake, don't constantly have to look up for a corner because it's wet. I struggle with that sometimes as well. Oh, nice drift there from Dexter. As you can see, he already struggles with the tires. Imagine that in the wet. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing that we're driving in the dry here at the Hungary. Because, yeah, sometimes it feels like driving on ice. And it can be really, really tough. I'm really interested to see how the race pace will be during the race. We saw some good qualifying times, Mpgyoród being a fast guy, winning one FS2 race and should have finished on the podium in the other one. But he has a challenge with Oliver Terrace being there, being quite close during quali. Let's hope they can put up a good fight for the win, or some other drivers for the podium. And yeah, towards the end of the race we will probably see some people struggle with the tires, and the people who would save up these tires at the beginning phase of the race would provide from that, or have some have an advantage from it. That's the better way to say it. As we're coming to a closing stage of this warm-up session and start preparing for the race. Maybe some drivers will do some test starts in a bit. Apologies for that. I have quite a sore throat, I don't know from what, but with commentary that's of course not that ideal. As we can see a nice fight in front of our eyes. Mpgyoród's fighting one of these blue cars. I don't exactly know who it is. Oh! Really close there. As the session is finished, then we should move on to the racing session in a bit. as we will wait till the session is put through to race 1. Chris will do his talk in the chat, saying no chatting during the race, be careful, be cautious. 9 of the 10 times that isn't happening in lap 1, but you know, our drivers do their best to come clean through the first corners, and it should be fine. Well, I will try to get into the server myself as well to be able to see the live timing the way I want to see it. Well, if you have to go to the toilet, do it now. Get your popcorn, stuff like that. I see the toilet and the walkway in the toilet is on the right over there. And as we see on the background, we have the drivers going to start their formation lap, and in a second we will see our starting lineup. As we see here on P1, Alessandro Maggio followed by Oliver Terrace and Kasper Koritz and Maciej Sokolowski finishing the second row, followed by Joshua Dexter and Joe Gillett on the third row, and Kurt Rojarv and Filip Shervinsky. P9 is Nick Kuiper, followed by Domenico Scarpelli and Caroline Harvick, and P12 I didn't see. P13 is Julian Kerr, P14 David Dobson, and then Christian Vasder and our owner of the league, William Bonici on P16. Yanis Luiti and Jake Johnson are in P17 and P18, and Frederick Lejean finishing off the grid in P19. As the cars are getting ready for the race in this formation lap, weaving around and braking a bit, getting the brake discs up to temperature, the tires up to temperature. We will wait till they head to the starting grid. Everybody being calm till they have to line up on the grid, stand there, and then their heart rates will probably be 200 BMP going all the way, wanting to have the best start ever, not like Guan Yu Zhou during F1 that was 1.5 seconds late on the start. Oh, Maggio having to start on the outside lane here. And Terrace, Oliver Terrace, that is starting on the inside. If Terrace can have a really good start, then he should be able to pass him on the first corner, maybe even the second one into T3, because those corners will swap around. But we'll see. As everybody's lined up, the lights go out. 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go for race 1 of the GPVWC Academy, and Maggio with a really good start. Terrace already up on his gearbox. Going for the outer line. Everybody having a clean start. And Oliver Terrace now on the inside. Can he make it? Can he do it? Oliver Terrace on the inside. Oh, and Mpgyoród sticking it up there. Still there. Can Mpgyoród make the move? No, he can't. And Oliver Terrace takes the lead in his opening stage of the race here at Hungary. Sotiris making the move for P3, passing Kontogouris that started on P3 on the third place. As everybody is still really close to each other. Trying to make their move. As we see Joe Gillett here, that's following Dexter, willing to make the move into T1. He's lining it up here in the last corner. Dexter not having a good exit, going wide. Joe Gillett making the move. Staying here on the inside. But Dexter having a really good exit actually, maybe more top speed, and Gillett going around the outside. Can he make it stick? Oh. A really nice move, but it's still not done here. But Gillett now completely passing Dexter, Joshua Dexter, and making the move for P5. As we here have a fight for P12. Oh no! That's Scarpelli into the wall. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Scarpelli running wide. Oh, and we have Sokolowski and Kontogouris for the fight here in the S's. Next one heading towards the right side. Kontogouris running wide, probably picking up a good track warning over there. Trying to make a move here into the right-hander. And Joe Gillett trying to get the advantage over this situation. Joe Gillett really on a good start here. Picked up one place already and right on the gearbox of the next couple of drivers, as we have a yellow in sector 3. That's Lejon, Frederick Lejon, falling back. As we see Joe Gillett going for a move. He cannot stick it on the outside just like the last time. But can he do it in the next corner? He will try to. Going for a nice inside move. Can he get the overlap? No, he can't. Side by side. Oh! And Kontogouris spinning out, almost taking someone else with him. That's something that the stewards have to look into. Because I don't know what happened there. It was really close, at least. As we have some nice battles going along around the track over here. William Panisi here, fighting for P19, the last place on the grid. With Frederick, oh, cutting the track a little bit because he outbraked himself. As we have a yellow in sector 2. Christian Vaster here, fighting for P11, already taking P12 earlier. Had a small collision with Scarpelli there before, but now trying to get close to Kontogouris. Kontogouris did also got forced into a mistake and then spun off the track. Luckily he could continue his way here during the race, while we are already in lap 4. And the leaders being still quite close to each other, only 0.7 of a second. Oliver Terr is still leading the race. As we also have a nice fight for P8. Nick Kuiper trying to attack Howard in front here in the chicane. Oh, just going right. I think he tries to stay close and line it up for the start-finish straight, while we have Dobson falling back. Just spun round, I think. Actually having contact with another driver, but that's something we don't see on stream, but I can see on my own feed. Yeah, the driver that was for the yellow, that's David Dobson. David Dobson is standing still next to the track, so not to confuse anyone. It's nobody that just spun. He's just standing there on the track. The light blue car trying to get the... Jeez. That went well. The light blue car trying to attack the dark blue car here in front. Yanis, Loiti. Trying to get the outer line here to gain some time on faster. Faster that has good pace, while we go back to the front again. There's a nice battle unfolding here, right in front of Dexter, for a podium position. That's what we like to see. Some nice clean fighting in the front of the pack. Gillett that closed the gap to Sokolowski. And then we go back to Nick Kuiper. Nick Kuiper still on the gearbox of Howard. Unfortunately, I cannot see his last name. As he goes for a move now, can he do it around the outside? Not there yet, but he's going for the old school switchback. He's there, he's there. Can he stay there? Around the outside, just braking too late. Trying another switchback, and then you're stuck over here. He wants to try to get to the inside, but he can't. It's better to stick behind then. Don't hit him off. Good job. Oh, some close fighting over here. Oh, and he forced Howard into a mistake, going towards the chicane. Oh, nice move from Nick Kuiper there. Forcing Howard into a mistake, Howard running wide, and him having the inside there in the chicane, and moving up to P8. Well, Mpgyoród is actually falling back a bit, as I can see in my top left corner of my eye. Mpgyoród being only 0.7 behind Taris, but I don't know what happened there, but he lost more than a second to Taris. And because of it, the cars behind are closing in and are only 2 seconds behind. I think our yellow flag should be fixed now, as David Dobson is our first official DNF for tonight. As we ride along with Jake Johnson and P15, the number 4 car, seeing this nice battle unfold right in front of him with Yanis Lawiti and Will Panisi. Panisi that came from a bit further back, I believe P18, but having a good fight here, being overtaken by Yanis, but maybe he can do a counter move in one of the following corners. Oh, does Jake Johnson lose control of his car and actually can recover? And we have 2 cars in the pits while that happened. Apologies. One of them being faster, that was right up P12, and Scarpelli that spun around earlier this race. That was already a bit further back. Don't know what happened to Faster. Still on the pits. Maybe having big damage. Yes, we have a nice fight here for P3 still. Sokoloshki, Gillett and Dexter all being quite close. Already for quite a few amount of laps. I know the tires won't like it because the dirty air on this track and like this track in general and the dirty air are not a good combination, as you can see here on the feet of Joe Gillett. Just not having the grip and just not being able to follow quite nicely. Even though these cars have low drag, it's still quite hard to follow sometimes. But Will Panisi doesn't think that way, as he's having a good fight with Julian Kerr. Oh, Julian Kerr not having a front wing actually. I didn't see that before. He was running a bit more forward. I believe around P12 before, P10, something like that. And the guy that's now running around that position is Howard. As we have another yellow in sector 2, that's the car ahead. That's Filip Shervinsky. Shervinsky having to DNF. What happened there? Oh, disconnection. Oh, that's not nice to see. Oh, that's really unfortunate for Shervinsky. Doing a really good job while Sokoloshki made a mistake and Joe Gillett can take the advantage over him. Oh, we're seeing some really good fights over here right now. Oh! And what happened there? Oh! Joe Gillett making a mistake or being hit actually. No, making a mistake of his own. I was just being distracted over here, so apologies that I didn't see that. And that gives Dexter a nice place up, and Sokoloshki his place back after his mistake. And Julian Kerr now coming out of the pits after his front ring repair. Rejoining nicely and safely while we have another DNF. It's Howard in this instance. Now I'm curious what happened there. We're spinning off, hitting the wall and being done for race 1. Too much damage. Well, we drive along with Oliver Terrace now. Oliver Terrace being in P1 quite comfortably with 4.1 seconds in front of P2, Alessandro Maggio. Alessandro not being able to come back. Maybe he has too much of his tires. You see him sliding just a tiny bit, but he seems to be able to keep the gap, just like a ton of drivers here. We have a nice fight over here as well. Will Panisi again, founder of this league. And head of media for Alfa Romeo Sauber Formula 1 team. I think he wished he was an F1 car at this moment, so he could beat everyone's ass really easily. As he would fly by and do way quicker lap times. Panisi following quite nicely, while we see our DNF here, Filip Czerwinski. Oh, Panisi! Oh, I jinxed it. Oh god, I jinxed it. Sorry, Will. Didn't mean to. Oh god. I had this one time as well. I was doing commentary at this different league, this Dutch league, and there was this driver on the straight trying to overtake someone, and I said, like, he's a pretty good driver in the IndyCar, and he will make this pass easily. Like, it's a straight, he uses push to pass, he gets by. And literally, like, all out of a sudden, he spins in the middle of the straight. Like, why? How? So, the jinx is real. I just need to be quiet next time around. So I won't jinx Joshua Dexter at the moment, running in a nice P4, following Sokolowski. Sokolowski maintaining that 1 second gap. Trying to get closer to Alessandro Maggio, but the gap seems to stay the same, with only 3 laps to go right now, as lap 12 counts as well. And we have another yellow sector too. That's Jake Johnson. Johnson spinning around and moving on again. We have 3 lapped cars in this race. Well, we see Johnson move really slowly over the track, actually. DNFing, that's the reason why. Or not DNFing, I don't know. Oh no, we didn't DNF, we just switched the cams, yeah. But as we follow Julian Carrier right now, Julian Kerr being one of the lapped cars. Scarpelli had an early incident, Kerr losing a front wing, and Vasdar, I don't really know actually. With Vasdar being the most unlucky one in this instance. He probably had some heavy damage, had to make repairs, and luckily continuing on his race, because we like to see that people try and finish it. as we see Joshua Dexter here getting quite close to Mpgyoród Sokolowski. Trying to take an advantage over him because of his mistake. Actually being quite close compared to what he was before. If he really wants to get that podium, he needs to make a move this or next lap. If he's going to do it, I would say stick close this lap. Try to make a move on the straight or force Sokolowski into a mistake. We already saw that earlier with Joe Gillett that did it with him in turn 2. Joshua looks to be following quite well at the moment. As we here see Scarpelli making a move on Lejon being left as well. As we see these two front runners fighting again. No DRS being allowed in this series, only like the F1 Academy cars actually. They don't have DRS either. It's all on racecraft, slipstream, and making some crazy moves. As we enter our last lap. Oh no! Oh no! Sokolowski and Dexter without a front wing now, and damage. While we had a spinner, I don't know who that was, but oh, that's really unfortunate. As I hear in my ear that it was Frederick Lejon. Oh, boy, oh boy. Jarv and Gillett being quite close to each other here, trying to gain on the cars in front, trying to get that P3 and P4. As we ride along here with Oliver Terrace, the guy that made the move in turn 1 and 2, and eventually kept P1, and now goes through the last corner, trying to keep it safe. And Oliver Terrace is here, the winner for race 1 at Hungary, at the Hungaroring, followed by Alessandro Maggio. And then it's going to be close. Who can keep it on track with no wings? Mpgyoród Sokolowski in P3 and Joshua Dexter P4, Rojarv P5, and Joe Gillett in P6. As the following runners now finish, with Kuiper in P7, Koritz in P8, and Caroline over here still having to navigate the last corner, doing it in a safe manner and taking P9 for race 1 here at the Hungaroring. We still have some battles here on track. I think this is an unlapping from Vestar. But here Yannis Loiti, P10, making a good finish to the race. Oh, Emil Punisi. I don't know if he finished. Well, he didn't actually, because he DNF'd. So maybe he didn't have enough fuel. That's really unfortunate for Will. As we know, we'll get the results in a minute. And there we go. We have Oliver Terrace here taking the wing at the win, not the wing. Taking the win at the Hungaroring. followed by Alessandro Maggi and Mateusz Sokolowski that finish up the podium. Sokolowski without a wing, just like Joshua Dexter in P4, with a really close battle towards the end. Kurt Wojciech really taking an advantage over the people who made a mistake, getting towards P5. Then we have Joe Gillett, Nick Kuiper, Kasper Koritz, Caroline Harvick, and Yanis Loiti finishing up the top 10. As we have Will Panisi, taking the DNF at the end, but still finishing in P11. And then we have the lap cars. Domenico Scarpelli, Jake Johnson, Julian Kerr, Frederick Lejean, and Faster from 12 to 16. And unfortunately, our disconnects and other DNFs, Howard, Philip Stravinsky, and David Dobson. And we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes for race 2. Hello everyone, welcome back again. I have an unfortunate message. I cannot do the second race for commentary. We ran a bit short on commentators because of the original commentators not being able to do it anymore. I could only do race 1. I tried to see if I could do race 2, but unfortunately that's not possible. We still wanted to show you guys some footage of the race, so our cameras will keep on rolling for the second race. We have a new cameraman, so he can practice out some stuff during that, so that will be good. I hope you guys have liked race 1 and my commentary. I don't do it quite often in English, but I hope you guys enjoyed it and liked it a bit. And otherwise, well, you have to do it with me. And now I will head off. I hope you guys will enjoy the second race. Maybe no commentary, but you can chat over it yourself and enjoy watching the second race here at the Hungary. See you guys. Bye-bye.
approaching grid. Will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
you.